Hi, my name is Father Charlie Bouchard, and I'm here to offer you a word of hope. We see a picture in the first reading today from St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians of a Church of Corinth, which is very divided. People are so divided that they are taking sides, and they are so opinionated and shallow that Paul says, I can't even give you anything serious to think about. All I can offer you is pious platitudes or junk food. And I suppose this is familiar to us in a way because in our society today, we've got a whole lot of division. We've got a whole lot of people who are arguing, who are opinionated, and who are focusing on one person over another. Now, Apollos and Paul were certainly both worthy messengers, both preachers of the gospel. But Jesus has to remind the Corinthians in today's reading that it is not Apollos and Paul who really make the difference, but rather it is God. He says, I planted the seed, Apollos watered it, but God made it grow. And so he admonishes them to put aside their skirmishes and their petty differences and to both look up and look beyond. In other words, he's saying to them, let's get a little perspective on all of this. It's not about Paul or Apollos. They may be good. They have their limitations, just like perhaps our political candidates do. But he says the important thing is to ask, what does God want? What does God think about which candidate can help us, not do it for us, but to help us to carry out the gospel mandate in our society? Which one is most able to help us feed the poor? Which one is most able to help us care for children? Which one is likely to help us distribute goods equitably? Which one is able to perhaps reduce crime and the conditions that lead to crime so that we can all live a peaceful life? And perhaps most importantly, God wants to know which candidate can really draw us together. We don't want to become a political Corinth in which we're constantly at each other's throats and refuse to hear any serious ideas because we've already made up our mind about one candidate or another. But how can God pull us together and help us see the really important things and then ask, all right, which party or which candidate can help us achieve these gospel values in our society today? This is a really good message for us right now. As you knew from reading the scriptures, St. Paul was no stranger to controversy in the church communities that he created, and yet he constantly tried to pull them together around Christ so that the church could have a unified witness and could preach the gospel with one voice. Let's all think about ways that we can do that in the next few weeks.